Hello one and all, and welcome to Silverstone for the first round of the Precision Racing League iRacing Sunday Series Season 5 with the Mustang FR500S. I am of course Justin, and today on Box Gaming we'll be covering this 30-minute sprint race of the Grand Prix circuit layout. It's a new season of the IRSS and of course a new car. The Mustang is much more of a road car than a race car, but still has enough power to get oversteer in the low speed corners. It's also got lots of torque and a relatively flat power curve, making short shifting very effective and sometimes necessary. I've got a new teammate for this season, and he is Ashley Blakely. He's been racing in the IRSS for quite a while now, and he also races in the UK&I Skip Barber League, which I write about on iRacing News each week. Purely coincidence that he races in that league that I write about in the news on iRacing News, for those of you that follow that. I think he was racing in that long before I actually started writing about it, so purely coincidental. Clearly we have similar taste in the series that we participate in, and the cars that we use, and the leagues that we join, and that sort of thing, so it should be a good pairing for us. Really looking forward to it. It's been a lot of fun so far. This is being recorded. We're 3 races in. I'm trying to play catch up now. Of course, I just came out with the final race of Season 4. That video just came out earlier this week, for those of you that may have missed it. It was a great race at Spa, where I took 2nd place, just a 10th or 2 ahead of Steverson Oliveira, and fantastic race, great way to end the season. And I had a lot of fun, so of course I am back with more iRacing Sunday Series with Precision Racing League. Really looking forward to this season. As I mentioned before, this car is a little bit more of a road car. This is more of something that you might drive in real life. It's sort of just like a Mustang that's been gutted out, maybe has some performance modifications, some suspension improvements, stuff like that. It's not super hard to set up. There's not a lot that you can do with this car. It's mainly suspension stuff. You'll see there is a rear wing on it, but of course, or not of course, but unfortunately, it is not adjustable. You can't change the angle on the rear wing. It's just a static rear wing. It doesn't change, so there's no adjustments there. It's mainly just tire pressures and suspension, spring, perch, offset, and camber, and all that sort of stuff. That's really what matters when it comes to setting up this car. Thankfully, David Wormald has been very kind in sharing his setups. Ashley as well, my teammate, he's been sharing his setups with me as well, which has been very helpful. I've been sharing mine with his, of course, as well, any changes I make and that sort of thing. So it's been a lot of fun so far. Really looking forward to recording. This season is a little bit different. Last season, they were about 45-minute races, I want to say. Generally, give or take. Maybe, some a little bit longer than others, some shorter than others, that sort of thing. It really just depends on how fast everybody was, but with this season, they're gonna be breaking it up. There's gonna be some 30-minute sprint races, which is what this race is, thank God, because the first race I was a little bit nervous for, and really glad that we could start off the season with a 30-minute race. It's just much easier to get into the swing of things with a nice short race. We've got some newcomers to the series as well. As you can see, there's 10 people on the grid. Got some new names. Mainly just Sky. I believe everybody else actually has been in PRL from previous seasons. I believe Sky Willis is the only newcomer. She is a very quick driver who raced in the Lotus 49 series, which coincidentally I also write about on iRacing News. She's very, very quick. Very competitive and very clean driver, as you have to be when it comes to driving the Lotus 49, so no surprise at all that she makes a great addition to the league. Really glad to have her, and as you can see on the qualifying results here, she qualified 3rd on the grid, just ahead of my teammate Ashley Blakely by 5/1000ths of a second. And you can see just how close it is, how competitive it is between 3rd all the way down to 7th myself. Less than half a second? Yes, less than half a second separating those 5 cars? Yeah, 5 cars. So an average of 1/10 separating each of them. You can see I was only off of Este's qualifying time. I was only off of his by about 3/100ths of a second. So I was just out of reach of being a little bit higher up the grid. which certainly would have been nice. But so we are starting from 7th on the grid. Spencer Meadows takes an amazing pole position with a 2:08.262. That is incredibly fast. Let me look at the practice times real quick. Yeah, I was 3rd fastest in practice, so I was definitely a little bit off in qualifying. But other people were as well. You can see Steverson's qualifying time was not as quick as his practice time as well. Sky clearly pulled an amazing lap out in qualifying. That must have been her PB. Of course, these times are from FP3. You don't get to see the times from FP1 and FP2. Yeah, so it's looking very competitive. It's looking like Spencer and David are a little bit in a league of their own and will probably be battling for the win while the rest of us are deliberating 3rd position. Also, I've got a new set of camera angles to use, which I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy. I got these from David Wormalder. He linked me the forum post. It's on the iRacing forums. If I remember to, I'm going to try to remember to put a link to the thread in the description of this video, but if for some reason you don't see it, please feel free to comment and ask me for it, and I will send you a link. You have to be a member of iRacing, obviously, to go to the iRacing forums, but hopefully I'll remember to link that. It's a very, very professional set of camera angles that mimic real-life circuit camera angles and that sort of thing. Sorry, this intro is going a little long, but that's because it's the first race, so there's a lot of stuff to cover. So this is my new livery. It was made by Ashley. Big thanks to Ashley for putting this together for me. I requested, because his was white with the British flag at the back, so I wanted mine to be black with the American flag at the back, just so that it's similar but not quite the same. My car number for this season is 713, which is the area code for Houston, which is where I live, so I'm just kind of trying to represent my own city a little bit better this season by having car. I don't think I was number 713 in the Radical. I could be remembering incorrectly though, as I'm sure you guys are used to. Sometimes I forget things. So I'm car 713, the black car here. Livery was made by Ashley. Big thanks to Ashley. There's actually some. Let's see. There's some. Yeah, the PRL logo is right there. Let me see if we can. Yeah, so it's got the Precision Racing League logo on the top of the car, and you can see he added underneath the logo, it says "Lover of the Slow-Mo," because everybody knows at this point, I guess, that I just love me some slow motion replays in racing. And you can see it says Box Gaming on the back, so I've got that little tag giving me some advertising, even though you're already here. But of course, you know, if I drive this car around other places, I'm just going to continue using this livery. It's really, really nice. So yes, I believe we are going to go ahead and start the race. Yep, that's enough from me. Anything else I've forgotten at this point will be covered. So here we are on the grid again, starting from 7th on the grid. Only 3 cars behind me, 6 cars ahead of me. Esty just to my left. Once again, my big rival. You can see tons of wheel spin from me, just laying down that rubber. That is really surprising. Oh, and actually, it looks as if Sky has changed her livery since the race, because actually she was running a different livery during the race. I remember it had some British comedy duo on the cover of it, and it was kind of green colored. And you can see I'm having a little bit of a look on Esty right now, going into the Maggots-Beckett's complex here, but really no way to go side by side through there, and I was too far back anyway. There was no way that I was going to make that work. So just staying back in 7th place, taking a very, very wide line for the exit here onto the Hangar Straight through Chapel, taking a very, very wide entrance. Again, this is not a super powerful car, so you do have to, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. You do have to be focusing on the exits of corners significantly. It's almost like driving the Skip Barber or something like that. You really got to focus on the corner exits because it doesn't have tons of power. You can see there's a little bit of a gap forming to the cars behind me as I'm actually having a little bit of a look on the inside of Esty there. And there's some battling up ahead. It looks like Ashley has jumped Sky and is currently running in a podium position of 3rd. And keeping up with the leaders as well. Ashley running a little deep. Again, he's that white car with the British flag. and he ran a little bit deep at the exit of that corner. I don't know that. That's Club. Coming out of Club there, and oh, John Vitrano. Oh, Sky has gotten by. Sky has gotten by Ashley, and John Vitrano having a little bit of a look on Ashley as well. And I'm having a look on Esty, and also on John. I've got the inside line now here for the bridge corner, but John's going to hang on to it. Now I've got Esty on my left. He's going to have the inside line for Priory. And looks like he's going to take that position. No, I'm staying alongside him, but once again, it's another left-hander here. And so he's going to hang on to that position as I run out very wide. I don't think that was intentional at all. And that has significantly hindered me as we're going through Luffield now. And the red car is coming up my inside, and we're coming down the start-finish straight now. That's Woodcut? Wood. I don't know. Start finish straight down towards Cops. I've got the outside line for turn 1 here, and yeah, we got to brake a little bit early and concede the position. So unfortunately, down into 8th now. Having a look though, got a little bit better exit speed. You'll notice the backfire now. That's new to this build. And let's go to this wonderful moving camera here. Oh yes, yes. Oh, it's so nice. And you can see I tried going side by side through Maggots Beckett's, but or into Maggots, but that just did not work out. And hopefully going to be able to get a good run. Definitely getting a slipstream here. The slipstream's not as powerful as you might expect at this track, however. And here we go. I was hoping the camera angle would change there. It seemed like it was staying on the same one for a while there. And coming into Stowe now. And this is another corner where I was taking a pretty late apex to try and get on the power. I found that it was a little bit faster and a little bit more reliable. I was getting less oversteer at Stowe by taking that line, and you can see the brakes glowing, which I really do enjoy on this car. Coming through Club now, a little bit wider line. Again, looking to get back into 7th place here as we're coming down towards Abbey now. This is probably going to be a pretty popular passing location here. Try saying that 5 times fast. And because this is the Grand Prix circuit layout. So it's a tighter corner at Abbey versus the classic Grand Prix layout. Yeah, I believe it's called the classic Grand Prix layout. And you can hear the cars going underneath the camera there. Oh man, I love these moving camera angles. Fantastic stuff. As we're coming through Brooklands and into Luffield now, again, the very, very long right-hander. This is definitely a second gear corner. And there's a couple of ways that you could take it. You know, you could double apex it, run deep into the corner, take an early apex, run deep intentionally, and then cut back for a second apex. Some people just hug the inside. Some people were saying, you know, they just kind of did whatever the car wanted to do on that particular lap. So a few different ways of going through Luffield there, and they don't seem to be all that different, honestly, as far as speed is concerned. So once again, coming into Maggots now. This is lap 3. Yep, this is lap 3. Again, it's a 30-minute race, so it's not a predetermined amount of laps, but at about 2 minutes per lap, a little bit over, we're expecting it to be about a 14 or 15 lap race, give or take, depending on how fast the leader is. And you can see quite a gap now to James Myers, who is dropping back a little bit. He didn't seem super comfortable at this track. And it looks like, oh no, there's been contact between myself and the red car there, and both of us are into the barrier. Not sure what happened there. Let's take a look and find out exactly what's going on. Let's go ahead and just do a cockpit view. So here we are coming on to the long hanger straight, and you can see I'm alongside, and he keeps moving left, and then there's the contact, and we're both into the barrier there. And I can tell you that it apparently didn't look like that for him, so unfortunately that was just a case of netcode issues, it would seem, that sort of thing. So no penalties or anything like that for anybody, but of course we have lost a significant amount of time to the cars ahead, which is very unfortunate. You can see my car is pretty heavily damaged as well. Thankfully, though, apparently this car is a beast, because you can see just how much damage my car suffered there, but it is absolutely fine. And I was a little scared going into Stowe. I was a little timid going into stow. I wasn't sure what kind of steering things were going to happen as a result of that contact, but actually it felt fine, so I took my normal braking point going into Vale and Club and all that, and again, the car felt fine, so I was pretty sure at this point. I've taken several left-hand corners and right-hand corners and haven't felt anything strange. So I was fully expecting to have to drive back to the pits and get a repair. But I can tell you right now, the car was feeling pretty good. So I decided that I was just going to go ahead and continue because, again, this is just a 30-minute race. There's not going to be any pit stops unless somebody has problems. Because it's so short that you can run it on one set of tires and you can run it on one set or one tank of fuel. No refueling needed for this race, no changing of tires needed. So we have dropped now. This is now down into 8th position still, I believe. Let's come across the line. Nope, I am down into I'm in 8th position now. So I've got James ahead of me, but it is a pretty big gap to James up ahead. Let's see, the camera's going to be showing all of Maggots and Beckett's in a second here. And you can see James there. He's already through Maggots, going in towards Beckett's now as I'm just starting to enter Maggots. So there's definitely a pretty hefty gap between the two of us. I was faster in practice and qualifying than James. So right now I'm just very focused on putting in consistent lap times. I do believe that I suffered in my lap times as a result of the crash. I don't know if it was because of the damage or if it was because of some other issue, just like a mental thing. Oh no, as we see Antoine in the background there spinning out as he's coming out of Beckett's, I believe that was. So unfortunately, Antoine having a bit of a struggle with the car. And we can see there's James in my view, not too far up the road. And these obviously are going to be certainly important laps. The next, well, I mean, we're only on lap 4 now, so the next 10 laps or so are going to be very important. Coming through Club now, exit a Club. You can't quite full throttle it in this car, and there's that backfire I was talking about. Really, really enjoying that addition to iRacing. Just that little bit extra. Hopefully we're going to be seeing painted wheels on the Mustang soon, because the Mustang could certainly use it. It would really be an added, a nice bonus for the Mustang. This is an interesting camera angle. This one's called Random TV, so I guess it just kind of goes all over the place, which is kind of cool, actually. I'm liking this quite a bit. I'm really liking this camera pack so far, obviously right away just because of the moving angles. But I'm going to show you another one here in just a second after I finish this lap. Oh no, I got some oversteer at the exit of Lovefield there. A little bit of wheel spin, and that's going to compromise me all the way down this start-finish straight now. Going to be losing time, unfortunately. I'm not sure what James's exit was like. Maybe he struggled equally. But of course I don't want to be doing that. So let me change, I'm going to go to the static TV. I'm a big fan of static TV angles as well. Sometimes it's just a little bit easier to get a feel for exactly how fast the cars are going when the camera is static. At least I find. And you really get these nice dramatic shots of the change of angle as I'm going through Maggots and Beckett's. Chapel, once again, onto the hangar straight. Oh no, you can see some dust kicked up, and that's John Vitrano coming into the camera angle there, or just going out of the camera angle there. So it looks like John potentially has had some sort of off-track incident at the exit of Chapel as they're coming onto the hangar straight, and that's dropped him down now to 6th position is John. And then we see Ashley there heading down towards Abby, and there's Sky. So Ashley's still ahead of Sky, followed by Steverson, and then there comes John. And then James is going to be the next car, followed by myself. And man, what a camera angle. I am really, really enjoying the static camera angles. These are really, really nice. Unfortunately, you're not getting the full effect because there's not too many cars around me at the moment. But still, fantastic camera angles. Really enjoying this. And I can't say that it appears as if the gap is closing down to James up ahead. I'm definitely not much faster than him, if I am faster than him. Also, I can tell you right now, I was a little bit faster through Abbey and coming onto the farm straight. I was staying in 3rd gear for Abbey. and taking a really wide apex for turn 11 Abbey, and just getting the best run through turn 12 onto the farm straight that I could. And I really think that's where I have an advantage on just about everybody in this race. I was talking to David Wormald after the race, and I told him that I was using third gear through that corner instead of second gear, and that it was faster for me anyway. And he tried it, and he said he found a 10th as well. Of course, that was after the race. I didn't want to make David even faster than he already was. So I decided not to share that piece of information before the race, but rather after the race. And he also found a little bit of time by staying in third gear for Abbey, strangely enough. If you shift down to second, and again, I think this goes back to having the flat power curve, or the relatively flat power curve, compared to other cars. Like the Radical has a very peak power curve. If you go down into low RPMs, there's almost no horsepower in that car. Whereas with the Mustang, even at 3,000 RPM, I think you're getting like 300 horsepower. So it's got a pretty flat power curve, which means sometimes staying in a gear is faster rather than shifting down. Probably more often than you might initially realize. So coming into Stowe now, there's James coming out of Stowe, heading into Club, or Vale and Club, I don't know. The map on iRacing is not, it says Vale is the straight before Club, is that right? I don't know. I'm not 100%. I do not know the classic layout as well as the current layout. Okay, that's enough of the static TV. I really just want to try everything. Yeah, classic F1. So these are camera angles that mimic one of the years from F1 when they raced at this configuration. So basically, I didn't look up exactly what year it was, so I'm using hypotheticals here. Let's say in 1972, these were the exact camera angles that they used for the F1 race. So that's a really nice feature. I really enjoyed that. So we're traveling back through time with our 2000-something Mustang. And I'm sorry, I'm just taking a little breather. I've been pretty much non-stop talking for the last 23 minutes straight, so just gonna sit back and relax for a little bit. Let's actually see. Oh, right, no, there wasn't a camera set for the car for the Mustang, so I don't have a specific set of camera angles for the Mustang, unfortunately. There are some specific camera angles for different cars within iRacing in the same thread for the track camera angles that we're using here. But there wasn't one for the Mustang, unfortunately, so no special camera angles to use as far as the Mustang is concerned. Have we used everything else? Let's do a little bit of this screenshot angle. You guys can really see the suspension working. Coming onto the hangar straight now, this is lap 7. Again, 14 or 15 laps is what we're looking at here. I'm sorry, I should have looked in advance. That way I can tell you when the white flag is waving. Because obviously in the race, I get shown a white flag for the last lap, which is very handy. So just staying in 4th gear as I come out of Stowe, and then you break down to 2nd gear for these corners, and then short shifting into 3rd is what David said he was doing for the exit of Club. But I mean, even short shifting in 3rd, I found that you still could not go full throttle out of that corner, because I don't know if it's the tires or the car or the combination of the two, but it's tough. Oh, I'm sorry. I had my mic muted. I do apologize about that. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here, just because it's getting a little boring now because of the camera angles. And that's my fault, you know. The race is not super exciting because I'm just not catching up to James fast enough. So I only have myself to blame for the excitement level of the race. Coming into left field now, finishing lap 8. There's that late apex, trying to maximize my run down the start-finish straight. And hopefully I'm going to be recording the next race as well. Second race of the season is at Interlagos, which is a track I quite enjoy. Love seeing the shadows changing. See that? The dynamic shadows as the car's going through the corners. I really enjoy that stuff in iRacing. It's really, really nice. Look at that, just dancing around the car. And with the backfire as well, great stuff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the patch notes said that there's no backfire for other cars in replays, only my car. Now, when you're actually racing, I do believe there's backfire for all the cars. In fact, I'm quite certain of that. There's backfire for every car when you're actually doing the races, but in the replays, there is only backfire for your own car. And we definitely are closer to James. We're definitely getting there. Not as quickly as I'd like. Again, it's taken many laps just to get this close to him. And I still think we are just outside of a slipstream at the moment. So unfortunately, as James has had a little bit of a moment there, coming into Abbey. Yep, he's completely missed his apex, and he's gotten a little bit of oversteer as well. And let's go on board with me so you guys can see. Again, there's going to be an unedited race from cockpit view available for you to watch if you guys are interested. But see, you're going to watch me. I'm going to drop down into third here. I'm going to stay in third even though the RPMs are so low. See, I'm way down below 4,000 RPM, but I get to stay on the throttle the whole time through turn 12 after Abbey. And then it's a little bit of a lift for this corner. Try and feed the car as far to the right as I can, but I don't go as far right as some other people. Some people like Spencer, for example, I noticed was taking a very wide entrance for that corner for Priory. And I'm going to go ahead and go back into crane cam now that I'm a little bit closer to James. That way you can maybe see that you can see that gap shrinking lap after lap, hopefully corner after corner even. But James is really on it right now, for sure. He is driving very, very well. He knows that I'm catching him, obviously. iRacing does a great job of informing the driver of the gaps. So he definitely knows that I'm catching up to him. Again, you can see that really, really wide line, although I've missed my apex there, and that is not what I need to be doing. That is a very important corner, is turn 6 after Beckett's for Chapel. It's a very, very important corner because this is the longest straight of the track, is the hangar straight. So that's the place where I can make up the most time, and unfortunately I completely missed my apex on that corner. You could see I was probably a meter or two away from the apex. Which is really not what I need to be doing at this moment. And I gotta say, I really, really like James's livery. The black and red. That's probably my favorite color combination. Is black and red with white. Which is pretty much exactly what his car is, and he's got the PRL branding on it as well. It looks sort of like David's car, or Steverson's car. Excuse me, I just can't talk this morning. But red and black, which I really like. And I believe we're rounding out lap 12. Yep, this is lap 12, so only a couple of laps remaining. coming through left field once again, hugging the inside line a little bit more than James, probably so I could get on the gas a little bit earlier and get a little bit better run down the start-finish straight towards Copse here. Copse third gear, approaching it in fourth gear, I believe. And then just tapping the brakes down to third gear, hug that inside. You can see I'm even in the grass a little bit there. I believe you can touch the grass ever so slightly at the entrance for that corner without receiving a 1X off track, but only barely. Sorry, you probably heard me yawn right at the end of that sentence there. I do apologize. It is early in the morning. I'm motivated right now. I really want to be pumping out videos. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and even do the Interlagos video today. We've already done the third race, which was at Watkins Glen. So we're actually 3 races into the season already. The fourth race is coming up. I believe it's at Donington Park, which I've never driven before, ever. So really looking forward to that race because I'm going into it completely blind. I've never watched a race at Donington Park. I've never driven a race at Donington Park. I've never been to Donington Park. I've never even been to the UK. So I'm really looking forward to that race. Should be a lot of fun. So lap 13 it is. I do believe this may be the penultimate lap of the race. So very important laps here. You can see, again, though, I'm just not closing in on James fast enough. I'm not closing in at the rate of speed that you might expect, or that I was certainly hoping to be closing him in on. So not going 100% to plan, unfortunately. I mean, certainly things weren't going to plan after the first 3 laps even. Things were not going to plan. I was really hoping to challenge Esty in this race. He was my target. Esty and John were the 2 cars that I was hoping to be racing with in this race. And unfortunately, I've spent the entire race just trying to catch up to James, who is just being a big old jerk and just pumping in consistently fast laps. I think the only mistake that he made was that one that we pointed out at Abbey. I think that was lap 11 or 10. I think that's the only major mistake he's made so far. And again, I want you guys to pay attention to the exit at Chapel here. You can see James is going to be a little bit more to the center of the track while I go way to the left and try and get on the gas as early as I can. And I think that one was a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and this might be the last lap of the race. I think it might be. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Classic F1. You know what? No, I'm going to go to the random. I like the random. That was fun. So here I am, closing in on James, very close. I think I got a little bit of a toe down the hanger straight there from him. Really not much. The strength of the toe is not very strong in this car here. I don't know why it's going to the rear cam. This is the least useful cam at this moment. Down to second gear. Into club. Very close now. Very close. Just a couple of car lengths behind him. And I think we're actually catching up to someone. I heard somebody's engine just going into Abbey there. So I think James may even be catching up to the car ahead of him while he's maintaining his lead ahead of me. And again, look at that. Better run. And I'm going to be certainly challenging as we lost the camera there. And I'm side by side with James as we're coming into, excuse me, this is Bridge. And I've got the outside line for Priory now, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to take that position. Oh no, I'm going to try and sneak up the inside of Brooklyn's. No, James hangs onto it with some late braking. Takes the normal racing line, got the apex. He's going to have the inside line for Lovefield. And I do believe this is the final lap of the race, and I believe he is going to hang on to that position. Very well-deserved, very good race from James. Very consistent driving. And I believe we are crossing the finish line for the final time. And James, yep, you can see there's a car into the barrier up ahead at turn 1. So that is race over. Very well done, James, who comes home in 7th position for the first race of the season. And I can only manage 8th, unfortunately. You know what? I didn't take pictures of the results, but obviously the championship standings as of now look exactly like this. Spencer Meadow leading the championship after winning to David by nearly 5 seconds. Really didn't get to see much that happened up at the front there, unfortunately, because of the incident that dropped me back. I really couldn't even see what was going on up ahead. You can see I was 42 seconds behind the leaders in the end, which is very unfortunate. So, sorry guys who are watching this, and maybe David, Spencer, Ashley were hoping to see some more footage of their cars. But unfortunately, I was just too far away from you guys to really even see what was going on up there, so I didn't really know when things were getting exciting and when I needed to switch over there. In the end, though, John did move back ahead of Sky. It looks like Sky maybe had a spin of some kind. Yeah, Sky is who we heard that was going through Abby on the last lap there. I told you I heard that engine going underneath the camera when I was going through Club, and I believe that was Sky. So she unfortunately appears to have struggled in the second half of the race there, and John was able to get back by her, and it looks like John was even able to catch up and close in on Steverson, but was not able to take that 4th place position from him in the end, finishing half a second, just 5/10 behind Steverson. But my teammate Ashley Blakely getting a well-deserved podium, nearly 7 seconds ahead of Steverson, and only 8 seconds behind David. So very, very nice podium. So Scream and Whisper, which is our team name, Scream and Whisper gets our first podium of the season in the first race, thanks to Ashley's fantastic performance at his home track of Silverstone. Ashley is from the UK, so great job to Ashley. Some much needed points for the Constructors' Championship if we're going to look to be competitive at all. So in the end, I was only 4/10 behind James, who once again drove a fantastic race. Great job to James. Huge congratulations for holding on to that 7th place position. I know he really wasn't enjoying this track and car combination all weekend. He really just wasn't having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully we'll be seeing him a little bit more competitive at a track he is actually comfortable with. And but still great racing from him. Really looking forward to the rest of this season. You guys should be really excited about this. I think it's going to be even closer than it was in the Radical. Again, nobody was lapped. Antoine, I believe, DNF'd, so that was not a pace difference. I believe he actually DNF'd on lap 10 or 11 or 9, something like that. So that's unfortunate. But besides that, everybody finishing on the lead lap in a 30-minute race. So it's definitely going to be competitive. Obviously, as I mentioned before, Interlagos has already happened, and I can tell you that that race is even closer than this race. Interlagos is a fantastic race. So I hope you guys are real excited for that one, because I'm really excited to commentate for it. It's going to be a good one. So that's going to do it for this episode. There is an unedited video from Cockpit View that will be uploaded shortly after this commentated one. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in that stuff, and thanks for watching.